everyone, welcome back. This is my crazy owl bedroom in our home, but I'm the crazy one that loves owls so much. I've been collecting owl items for 25 or more years. So this bedroom has pretty much always been an owl theme. I'll start with something very different that my hubby did for me. He put together a fireplace look. We didn't have a headboard at the time. I saw this idea in a magazine and I thought it was so cute. So he went out and bought a mantelpiece and some trim, and he made the neatest fireplace look. And we had this room green before, so he painted it just a darker shade that went well with the walls. So I've always been happy with that. I only recently happened to think of all the McCoy and other vintage planters that I had. And I was using some outside and some inside, but I've always had these two really unique old owl vases, one there and one there in two different colors. So I'll show you some of that up close, but I got the idea to bring in a bunch of my green pots and put up there and just put some artificial succulents in them. And I was really happy with how that turned out. On this wall to your left when you first walk in, I had found this really cute little stitchery picture. It's probably only like 5 by 7. So cute. And it's not owl related, but I do have Crewel owl pictures in here, so I liked the colors. This mirror is so fun. I found it in a thrift store in northern Minnesota for, I think it was 12 or 14, probably 12. It is probably by Burwood. I do not see any mark on the back. It happens to have brown paper over the whole back, but it is really sweet. A little tricky to keep dusted, but not that bad. So that was a very fun find for this room. I'll show you some of my large owl necklaces that are all vintage, probably 60s, maybe some 70s. I have been collecting those for a very long time too. They're called articulated, I think, because they're movable. Here's some of the owls up close. I have quite a variety in silver and gold, some with glowing eyes. I don't know if they call that jelly belly from way back then when you'd find brooches like little bugs or frogs or things like that that had those kind of eyes in them. Some have rhinestone eyes, like this one here. Some of them are really big, like this one is really long, crazy. I have worn some in the past, probably not the biggest ones. Mostly these pretty rhinestone ones. So let me get closer here to the fancier rhinestone ones. Those two. You'll notice, again, I'm using a thrifted, stretchy plastic peg hanger here for them. So in order to get them all these different lengths, I had to wrap and wrap and wrap it around the top in order to shorten up the chains and make them fall together in a nice row where they're not overlapping each other. Some of these are spooky, like this guy over here. He's got a mustache. This one is spooky too. And that one. But they are a fun collection. They were really getting popular about 5 years ago. I was considering selling them, but I decided I didn't want to let this collection go yet. Over here, I have one that's fancier. It's got green rhinestone eyes. Hard to get in the corner here. Let me back out. I found this vintage mirror. It was brown. I actually did take it all apart to clean it, and it has been spray painted in a rust color, so it's not really brown wood like it was originally. But that was a nice thrift store find, so I just decided to hang this one very big owl in that mirror for the fun of it. Up here is a very cute needlepoint, and it's somebody's initials on there, DZ, and 1976. So we definitely know that is vintage. This owl lamp is one of 2 huge owl lamps that my brother gave me. He had them in his house for a very, very long time, and he knew I liked owls very much in this room, so he decided he didn't need them that bad, and he wanted me to enjoy them. And my hubby Norm, of course, he likes them too. They're very funky. This is a very common Crewel that you'll see on the internet, and I have one on the other side of the bed that is also very common. I always have liked that one. And that is a needlepoint up there. Down below here, again, back on the nightstand, is a Rose Lane owl from California. I guess they're pretty collectible. A guy was wheeling and dealing with me this past summer. He wanted me to buy it. He knew I was eyeing it. So he gave me a really, really good price. Pretty cheap, actually, for what I think they go for. And this is the cutest pen holder. Lucite. Very, very collectible Lucite item, I'm sure. I don't see it very much. You do see that kind of owl, much smaller, in little flower sculptures, but I haven't run across the pen holder. This is also Lucite flower sculpture. I'm gonna bend down here. Good thing my knees are not too bad. They didn't crack too loud. Anyways, this is a very large, chunky Lucite flower sculpture, and we've got a lot of them in the house. We really like them. And this is a vintage radio that my brother gave us, along with many others. This is crazy, but it wasn't in very good condition, so it was pretty bad in back, and I think the wires were cut. But I took out the insides, and I put a sound machine inside there. So all I have to do is reach behind it, very easy, and turn on the sound machine at night when I want it. I would like to mention that both these nightstands were just dark mahogany wood, and we bought them many, many years ago, but I decided they were kind of dark in here, so I wanted to be crazy, and I asked Norm if he wouldn't mind painting them. So he did. He worked pretty hard. The other one is over there. He just spray painted them, but he got a pretty sore finger because the gold especially needed lots of coats of paint. But I think it really lights up the room a lot better. And I don't have a fancy bedspread on right now that I will show you a picture of, that is a gorgeous hand-sewn quilt in all those colors of the nightstand, and that's why I chose them. Today I just wanted to show you the crazy chenille bedspread that I bought on Amazon. It was only available in a king size, and this is a queen size bed, so it was way too big. Don't tell my hubby, but I cut all the fringe off the bottom. I hated to do that, but I wanted the bedspread and I didn't want to take a chance. There was only one available in this color. It was the perfect color. So I gave up the fringe on the bottom. As you can see, it's pretty long. But it's fun. It's good enough just for every day. This is the beautiful quilt that I was talking about earlier. I put it on when we're having company. It's really special and I don't want it to get worn out, so I only save it for special occasions. It was all handmade by some lady. I don't recall who it was, and it was probably 5 years ago. It is just gorgeous work. And it was either 90 or 100. I'm thinking more like 90, but like I say, that was 5 years ago. As you can see, are very much why I chose the colors for the nightstands. I want to show you some of these funky pillows again. The owl one, of course, is my favorite. It was something I found a very long time ago. The crushed velvet looks probably 70s, right? I'm not sure. Maybe that is as early as 60s. They were doing a lot of crushed velvet pillows. But as I mentioned, these are probably, most of them are McCoy. But this one here, the light green, is Red Wing. Kind of a, not really speckly so much, but that is a well-known style in Red Wing. This is one of the crazy owl vases that I found at a flea market. Both of them actually were from the same flea market, but different times. I found it up north, each one of them up north, I should say, and I have always loved them, and I've never seen them anywhere. I know they're old because they were old when I bought them, and they, well, that was back in the 70s probably, maybe 80s that we found it. But anyways, I love them. And this is just a Japanese owl. I should say an owl made in Japan. And this large, really heavy mirror, I hope it never falls down, is Burwood. And I also found that in a thrift store too. Very grateful to find that. It was a sale day, so it was half price. And there again was just a ridiculously small amount for that. It was maybe 15 or less, but just beautiful, and I know they sell for quite a bit. On the other side over here, I have my blinds, mini blinds open to let some light in here, but I wanted to show you the barkcloth curtain panels that I found in just the right colors in an antique shop. They were very clean because I know the entire booth was full. Always, whenever we go in there, it is full of very cleaned and pressed linens. But I was so happy to find them. Down below, I had found the cutest little plant stand in a thrift store many, many years ago. I love raising up pots, big pots like that, so you can really get something tall. And I think it's just nice to have something in the corner over there. This little gold shelf, corner shelf, when I bought it again, Norm said, "Where in the world are you going to put that?" I said, "I don't know." As usual, I didn't know, but I found a spot in here. I'm very happy that I did find it. It just fits by the closet here. You couldn't get any tighter. This little owl with mom and two babies is Joseph Originals, I believe. It's not marked on the bottom, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it named that. The one in the back I had just turned over this morning to examine it because I couldn't remember. It barely shows what looks like Freeman MC, and that would be Freeman McFarland. So that's also was a really good deal. I got it for $5. An antique dealer was wheeling and dealing. That, well, it was in a State Fairgrounds antique show, so yes, he was a dealer, but it was not from a thrift store or antique shop as such. But I really liked them, and this one here has the neat embedded plastic eyes that are so cute. I don't know anything about those. I have quite a few with those kind of eyes. Up here is just a tiny little ceramic pair of little babies, and these are my latest purchase. They look like chalkware and feel like chalkware, but they're not. They're ceramic. I couldn't pass them up with those darling, glowing gold cabochon eyes, or stones around their eyes. Plastic, I'm sure. But they were really cute. And above is a tiny little, I don't even think it's 5x7. It's pretty small. Little stitchery, so cute. Found it at an antique shop. I think that was only $5 too. So I love my barkcloth drapes. It is really nice quality barkcloth. Very woodsy, so it's very appropriate for in here, but there is a butterfly here and there. That butterfly. So let's go over here. First of all, I'd just like to show you the neatest little hard plastic wastebasket that my brother gave me. It is very marbled, and it is in the nice coral color, so that sure was fun to get from him. There, my knee popped. Did you hear it? And I've got a vintage lace runner or little dresser scarf on here. I think it was my mom's. This is such a cute Kleenex box. I have never run across it. This one at first I kind of hesitated because it wasn't in very bright, fun colors, but because it was owl themed, I figured I'd be using it in here. So I enjoy it in here. I just last winter found this in a thrift store. This probably a craft made planter with a separate tray. The tray does come off, and thought that is just so cool. I think it was $4.99. I really was happy to find that. My hubby again thought it was kind of weird, kind of boring in the cocoa brown, but look what it goes with. So cute. My other crazy owl lamp. This is again from my brother, just a single owl. It did not have any eyes. It just had holes there, so either they never finished it or they fell out, whichever. I found it very simple to put rhinestone eyes in it. And this lampshade we found at, I think, Menards. Pretty good for looking vintage. It's just beige, so I was happy to find something to put on there. My brother didn't have a lampshade on it. This is the other very common crewel that you will find in the owl subject on the internet. Very fun colors. I really like all that texture. Really nice. I'm sure they're not too expensive. And that is a stitched owl picture. Probably, I don't know what you call that. It looks almost like embroidery type. So here's the other owl planter. I used to just have these two owls in here with some vintage candle holders, and I was always putting different greenery in them for different times of year, but then when I got the idea to put all these planters up here, I decided not to put anything in those two vases because they're just too tall to have something in them, unless they're way out on the ends. But greenery nowadays, artificial greenery, is so real looking. I love this one. That is really neat. Now up here is one of those really old shadow box shelves that you would have probably found with vintage Japanese figures. They would be sitting on that ledge. So cute. I like them too, but I found this separately and it was really cheap many years ago when we started decorating this bedroom. So I've probably had it for 25 years, but it was like 5 years ago I showed Norm, my hubby, that it sold exactly like this. It sold on eBay for $90. So he said, "Good, sell it." No, I don't want to sell it yet. I really like it. And here's 3 more of my cute owl figurines with those crazy common owl eyes from back in the 60s probably. Up here is one of the very well-known owl plaques. It's like foam. They're very lightweight, carved foam. And I repainted them. I didn't care for the boring colors. And after I repainted them, I made them fancier with gold toes, gold beak, gold eyes, and then I brushed lightly gold on them all over. So they're just a little more glitzy. I really like them, and I did that to another pair just like them, that they're different owl look. They're much smaller owls, but they're in green and rust also, and I did the same thing to them, repainted them. I have a lot of fun changing things or fixing them up. This was a long time ago that I found this really cute, smaller, very fluffy looking little owl, Crewel. It looks like Needlepoint in the back, but I don't know exactly how you would describe that one, but he is very sweet. Over here, hanging on my closet door, is a very fun owl purse. It was a kit many years ago, in the 60s probably. There may be a few little jewels missing on him, but I've had this guy, this night owl, for a very long time, and I enjoy putting it out on our front entrance coat rack in October. I think that's very fitting. So that's just on my closet door. And up here next to the closet door, when you first walk in to your right, I have some very old vintage beads that I had been talking about, how they can be flowery, very chunky. So there's 3 of them there. The one on the right is actually just beads, not flowers, but it's in the same fun color scheme. So I hung those on a vintage Lucite owl that probably was for keys or hot pads or whatever you want to use it for. We found this very fun and very cheap looking metal and fiberglass underneath. Little lamp. I don't know if you'd call that a sconce type lamp. I'm not sure. I forget what they would call that, but it is very cute. I'll turn it on for you so you can see what it looks like. All lit up. How fun it is the way it throws the light down in you know, V-shape form. So I thought that was a real steal in a thrift store. Turn it back out. It's just fiberglass underneath. But above it, I have another needlepoint. I did buy this guy on the internet. I guess I thought the big eyes were funny. They're pretty silly, aren't they? It's probably, you know, during the 60s there was a bunch of paintings that became very popular of big-eyed children and big-eyed animals. So maybe that's what inspired somebody to create a kit like that. I don't know who did it, but anyways, behind my door I want to show you some more beads. Now you can see how bead crazy I am. Yep. I've been looking for really fun, colorful beads that I did wear a lot years ago. I'm not wearing them quite so much now, but they are fun. I really enjoy finding ones that look like stones. They are just plastic, but they're lightweight and they're not cold on your neck. And they just are so pretty and so real looking. I've many times seen people selling a strand like that and they call it stone. They really think it's real stone. Sometimes I'll go tell them, you know, that's just plastic. But this is more over here. A lot of them right there. I sometimes will wear two different ones that go together nicely because they are different lengths that I found. They're wonderful. They go great with when you're wearing purples and greens. And I really like these chunky ones with turquoise looking stones in them. I'm very happy when I find them, usually in a antique shop, but I want them to be pretty reasonable. I won't get them when they're $20. And sometimes I restring them because they're just in poor shape. I love beading. So that is some of my crazy jewelry collection. Way up here is a very wild ribbon, I believe is what they call this style, Lucite swag lamp. We had that in here before my brother gave us the two owl lamps. So that was pretty much my main light that I would turn on when I walked in the room. Here's what the Lucite light looks like when it's not lit. It is certainly chunky. Pretty wild. We've had this one for a very long time, but we like it a lot. Very green and orange. I hope you enjoyed seeing my crazy owl bedroom today. I sure enjoy it. And my hubby does too. It is definitely full of eyes watching you. I hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you again. Bye now.